Well, hey, how y'all doing out there today? Listen, as every single one of y'all know, we live in a crazy world. It's always changing. There always seems to be something worse than from the day before in some kind of way. And we see the deterioration of our food supply and our water. We see our children, all of us getting sick around the world, but especially here in the States. We see certain areas that are way worse off than ours, or ours is bad enough as it as it is. But we look around and it's everywhere. There's nobody to help. There's no Superman. There's nobody that seems to rescue us and be able to rescue us from these evil corporations or even our own selfish, greedy ways. So it all seems hopeless, and that's something I want to kind of clear up because I'm looking at my own situation, and I'm not going to bring it up, but my clock's ticking down and it seems hopeless. It looks like a lot of things ain't going to go my way. And I get down and out about that. I should actually be paying more attention to it. But to get my mind off of it, I've always tried to look at things that are worse in my situation, or um, people that have it worse than me, because there's always somebody that's got it worse than us. But even that just leads to more hopelessness. You feel sorry for the people that's got it worse than you, and you wish you could do something about it. We all really wish we could do more and help more, and we do in the best ways that we can. But some of this about being hopeless, uh, and feeling like you're weak and it's just going to happen, and all you can do is sit back and watch it. Some of this is a mental game psyop played on y'all, and I want to kind of put it this way: the news mostly shows events and things that are, well, of course, they're past tense because it's happened, or it wouldn't be news. But it's already happened. There's nothing you could have done to prevent it. And now that it's happened, what can you really do about it? We especially feel hopeless when it comes to political issues because we can only elect senators to go to this Congress and representatives to make laws and to pass laws and to work for us. And we have to struggle and get a little bit at a time, when really it's nothing we ever control. There's nothing you ever could have done about it. You can vote till you till your little voting hand falls off. At the federal level, that what comes out of Washington D.C. is designed to be hopeless. It's designed to keep you waiting another 2 years, waiting another 4 years for your chance again, and all the hatred and division it brings up. But it's like there's no solution because a lot of the big stories or a lot of the bad things that happen do happen away from us, and for that sometimes I think instead of feeling hopeless or feeling sorry for other people, and I don't mean this in a selfish way by no means, but sometimes that's where we all feel grateful for what we do got. Grateful that our belly is full. Grateful that we do got a good neighbor. Those of y'all that work, grateful that you have a job. Grateful that the system isn't cruel to you. Grateful that you're not out on the streets. Grateful that your child doesn't have autism or ADHD, or you know, and those are the people that usually feel the most hopeless. The people that are either getting by in this system, or just healthy. A lot of healthy people, including myself. I'm not that healthy, but what good health I do have, it makes me feel bad, and I try to help others that don't. I try to show them how I did it for myself. But on the big scale, it does seem hopeless. We even look at the activity coming from our sun and the universe and cosmic rays and solar rays and how they're bombarding the earth, and things are changing here on earth with earthquakes and volcanoes and manipulated weather. And we feel hopeless because that's just such a big scene, and we really can't do nothing about that. That's on a grand scale. That's something for the the mind and the hands of the creator and the mother. That's what they do. That's their business, and we have no control over that. And it seems hopeless. Listen, I've always been about empowering y'all, and sometimes it's when I'm having to empower myself. And I was having to empower myself, realizing that things just happen. Number one, bad things just happen that we will never ever be able to stop or solve or fix. Especially in our personal lives, some things, maybe situations we get ourselves into, like myself. Um, some of y'all with financial burdens that are just driving you crazy and just stealing all your energy, stealing your peace, stealing your inner peace. The only thing that you control and the only thing that you have that is yours is your inner peace, and everything comes with it. So to empower you, to let you look at, especially those of y'all that want to do things and you want to change things and you want to fix things and you want to make things better, because I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there arm in arm with you. And matter of fact, we ain't arm in arm because we're busy, we're working, we're trying to get things done. We're being the change, we're living the change, and that's where the psyop is. They pump all these things out there from the sun to China to Russia to starving people to people being slaughtered, to global genocide of certain races and religions, and there's nothing we can do about this, and that keeps our mind trapped on that bigger picture. When all along, the only heart and mind we could ever change was our own. You get that, so that gets that individual. It gets down to that individual level of just you. You can only change your own heart and mind, and then you're the one responsible for living your life. But the things that you can change, there you go. We look at things, problems especially, as how big they are, or how many people they affect, or how much of the planet it's destroying, or whatever those major problems are: war, famine, the repercussions of war and famine, the starving people, the dying people. And we think, what can we do for these people? There's nothing I can do. But what can you do for your neighbor? What can you do in your own community? What can you do for homeless people right there in your area? What can you do for a young boy that has no guidance because his dad died in a war, or just was in prison or whatever because of the way things are? Where did it say we can't have, where the small victories? See, everybody says small victories and big victories, but to me, a victory is a victory. It is empowering, especially self-empowering, which many of y'all need today. You need to hear about how great and strong that you really are, what you really can do, not what you can't do. Man, it's so much easier to say what we can't do. I always notice when a lot of people write things out here when I'm scrolling down the wall and people are saying this, that, or another, and they're like, well, I wish I could be there. I'm sorry I can't be there. I can't help out. Well, I wouldn't even say nothing if I can't do nothing, but because it's just not what needs to be heard at that time. And that's just proper. I'm just being proper on that. But what about things you can help with? You can help with just hey, hello, I'm thinking about you. I'm looking your way and sending it and closing my eyes and just sending all the energy I can to you. I love you. How about we can just tell everybody we love them every once in a while? There's a lot of things we can do that will change somebody's perspective on the way they see things with these eyes and with this eye, of course, and especially that one, the spiritual eye. We can all get to a better seeking our own inner peace, so there will be more calm and peace amongst we the people. Another thing about making you feel hopeless, when there's a lot of hopelessness on a nation, especially at a national level, like during a war and you feel like you're losing the war, um, um, or even just, I don't know, the crime, the drugs, all the things that we see, and it causes all this hopelessness. That also causes fear, and fear causes the worst kind of thinking ever, y'all. Nobody thinks straight when they're full of fear. Fear causes a lot of adrenaline, and that adrenaline is fight or flight, not in a reasonable way, not even in a good emotional way. Just do it or don't do it. You know, it's crazy how that works. So that's crazy how your thinking gets when you're living in fear. Most of the time they give us an enemy to fear. Now, I just want you to think about something, America. All right, because my family's been fooled into this. I've been fooled into this. So I just want you to think about something. Yes, we had the Cold War going on, but look at the enemy that we have physically been fighting in wars since the 60s. Since Korea, since the 50s, since after World War II, we have been fighting little small people in foreign lands, little 4 or 5 foot people, tall people. That's all we've been fighting. We've not been fighting great armies. We have not been fighting world wars like the threat from Germany and Japan that had already built up military empires. I mean, the best military. It's amazing that we even won. It was amazing we got through that war the way we did, being the victor, so-called. So, but since then, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, even the 80s, when they were messing around down in South America with the Colombians and all. And then today with the Middle Eastern wars, we only go to war with very small people that have any kind of military, and nowhere near what superpowers have. And that's your enemy, an enemy that has no navy to get here, an enemy that has no air force to fly here, one enemy they lied about and said stole some planes, but then were Saudi Arabians and supposedly flew them into buildings. Well, we found out all that was a lie. You get it now? There ain't been no real enemy. There's been that Cold War threat. That was the only real enemy you had, and that was nuclear annihilation, but that goes both ways. So that's a Mexican standoff. That wasn't never going anywhere. They can make all the nuclear weapons they want. All they're making is toxic nuclear waste is all they're making. They're not going to go to war with those things. So think about even the enemy that you fear to do all the things that you've done, maybe even to feel hopeless about. We got to learn somewhere to take back our power, to take back our strength, to take care of ourselves, we the people. Nobody else is taking care of us, if you ain't noticed. Who's defending you? The police, the sheriff, the legal system, the National Guard, the United States military? Are they defending you right now? Are they keeping an enemy from getting on you right now? No, because there are no more enemies. There are no more enemies. It's like when Alexander looked across the world and he cried because he didn't have any more worlds to conquer. Well, there's nothing else out there to conquer. There's only a fear to keep in your mind. And yes, there is a Cold War where superpowers are playing around, and that should be worried about. But your enemy isn't the country, the little small country that they picked. It wasn't the Vietnamese. It wasn't the Koreans. And damn sure wasn't anybody from the Middle East. Those never have been our enemies, and they are now. They are now, that's for sure. At least half of those countries are in some of those places. And look how they do it. Look how they split it up for their own gain. And then you feel hopeless about that. You feel sorry for about these people. Well, feeling hopeless and feeling in fear is what they need to stay in power. No matter what you call them, the New World Order, the Illuminati, the federal government. Let's just keep it down. Let's keep it level and to our country. The United States federal government needs you to be in fear so they can spend trillions on a military force to defend you when it's nothing but a Ponzi scheme for money-making scheme called the military-industrial complex, where super fat cats make a lot of money off of this system by building war machines, by keeping wars going, while big oil fuels it. And big oil fuels it, and they become, so they're the superpowers now, these corporations. And that's what's going on. So look at the enemy that you've been scared of since since after World War II, and then look at what you can do in your own neighborhood, in your own house, in your own home, with your own children, your own husband, your own wife, whoever it is, in your own life, your own parents, your own grandparents, however you want to look at it. Don't look at things as small victories or big victories. Look at them as victories. We can't change the world, y'all. That's a sad fact, but it's a fact. We can't do a lot of things about a lot of things except waste time and energy and sometimes even money and what little bit of resources we do have on things that will never even be a drop in the bucket to helping somebody. But we can where we live. And if we started that again, there wouldn't be so much need for help around this country for sure. And hopefully it would spread around the world where they already live like that, where people already actually live like that, where they help each other. Or they coexist together in a better way than we do, and they don't think with fear. They listen to elders, they listen to trusted leaders, not elected leaders, just people that take on a leadership role, and the people that know and that's lived through things. So there you go. You want your power back? Take it. You wanna save the world? Save your home. Save yourself. Make victories count. Stack them up. Stack them up like poker chips. Come on. It's not a game, but it's life. And you living life is the best thing you could do, because that when you're living, you're not in fear. But the fear and the hopelessness are games played against you. And I hope you see it now a little bit clearer. I hope you see that a lot of psyops have been played on the American mindset and American mentality for the war for the mind, because if they can get you thinking and supporting things their way, even just a little bit, or even thinking that's just the best way to go, then they've already won way over half the battle. They've already won way over half the battle. So think about that. Ain't nothing hopeless unless you make it hopeless. And some things, y'all, some things just happen. We can't make it any better. We can damn sure make it worse by not at least putting what good energy and resources we have into things we can change, instead of letting all things crumble around us. Because in the end, that's also a part of their game. If you get to feeling hopeless all the time, then even it's something you could fix in your own home, you'll be like, oh, well, I can't do that. It's just hopeless. I give up. It's just the way of the world. It's just the way things are. I got to go with the flow. No, you don't got to go with flow. Go against the flow. That's right. Go against that flow. That flow ain't getting you nowhere anyway. Matter of fact, it don't seem like it's flowing. It seems like it's kind of stagnant. At least that looks that way to me. Think about that. You can be hopeless or you can be powerful. The choice is yours, and it always has been. Be you, be free, live free. And when you die, die living. And there you go. That's life, and that's the best you're going to get out of it. I love you. Peace, and don't live in fear.